Hello everyone, I'm David Loosley and welcome to episode 2 of Loosley Does It. That's right, I'm David Loosley and welcome to the show that keeps you loosely up to date with all things magic. Before we start, thank you so much to the response in the last video. Loads of comments were left underneath and I'm going to be reading some of them out today as well. Also, a lot of you hit the subscribe button, so thank you for doing that. If you haven't done it yet, I'll give you a second, you can do it now. And perfect. Okay, we're trying to lift our YouTube channel up, so those subscribes and the comments and the likes, they really do help. So thank you so much if you've done that already. Now back onto the project. So this week I'm going to show you 3 tricks from a DVD. Now I know you hear the word DVD, but I'm going to get on to my opinions about magic DVDs in a moment. But first, let's take a look at one of the tricks. So I'm going to show you a trick. Well, there's actually a story about Vernon. If you know Vernon, you'll know he was an amazing card guy, but at the Magic Castle, he had his own little section where he would sit Vernon's corner. And whether this story is true or not, it is quite intriguing as a magician. So there was a young boy that walked up to the corner and just started playing with Vernon's cards. And he looked at the boy and started showing him a trick. And apparently this was the trick that he showed him. So just so you guys can see here, a pack of cards which are all very different. He asked the boy to pick one. So obviously you're not here with me, but I'm going to go through them and ask you to say stop if you can. So here we go. I'll assume it was somewhere here. So remember that card, it's the 10 of spades. He turned his back to light a cigarette, not the boy Vernon, and the young boy took the cards and mixed them. But he took half facing one way, half facing the other, and he mixed them into each other like this. So what this done was cause a real mishmash of cards. Now of course Vernon's head was turned, so he had no idea whether the cards were one way or the other. He would assume that they were what they were. But in fact, some of the cards were face up, into face up. You got face down one there, into face up, into face down, into face up. You get the idea. The cards were all facing different ways. Now, Vernon just turned around. He took another puff of his cigarette and just blew the smoke over the deck. And what that did was straighten every single card to face the right way. Every card apart from one. And as you can see there, one card is not. And you guys are remembering one, and that just so happens to be the 10 of spades, which was a perfect match as well on that very night for the young lad. Now, Vernon was known as well for doing things in particular ways. For example, he always used blue cards, not red cards. So if I take this one and I just wave it, you should see that turns blue. And in fact, what about the rest of the deck here? If I take the 10 of spades and I lay it on top of the deck, just a little wave, and you should see now that every single card turns blue. Every single playing card now turns completely blue. They had a great story about Vernon. How cool is that? Now, if you like colour changing decks and you're mad on them like I am, you're gonna freaking love this thing. So first off, let me just tell you a bit about the project. So this is David Williamson and it's a project called Magic Farm. Now I think I got this when I was about 15 or 16 and it's a DVD that I've always referred back to relearn this trick, Funner Colour Stunner. When I say relearn it, it's just basically remembering the order the things go. If you've got a reasonable skill level in magic, you're going to be pretty good with this, but if you haven't, I think it's a great thing to start learning and testing your skills and learning new skills. So it's called Funner Colour Stunner. It's a colour changing deck routine, and I don't want to give too much away here, but you don't need any gimmicks, any gaps. You just take one thing from another deck and you put it in this one and you're good to go. The ending is super surprising. You do not expect that to happen because there's a lot of magic going on in this routine. I know that with just one card in my pocket, I'm good to go with this routine. And colour changing deck, it's just something about it that just hits. It's impactful, it's visual, and this routine's got a great story that lies beneath it. David Williamson just has a great way of structuring routines. Now, a lot of people know him as one of the greats as being funny, but actually he's technically amazing as well. And this DVD, every time I go back, I watch one of the other tricks and I should be doing that. I should definitely be doing that routine. There's an amazing trick in there which is like Dr. Daly's on steroids. So definitely worth checking out for that. But that was the first trick I want to show you. Let's move on to something that you can do with just a borrowed pen. So let's take a look at that now. I always used to hide my pocket money in interesting ways when I was a kid. I always used to hide them in places people would never look. For example, if I take a pen here, you can hear it sounds. Can you hear that? Sounds like there's something in there. It's just a biro pen. But if you take the lid off, you can tip out some coins. So in this instance, it's only 11p, but when you're young, you know, that's a fair decent amount of money. If you could take the lid off like this, you can actually throw the coins back into the lid and put the lid back on the pen, and you're left in that same position. It's really cool, you should try it. So I think you'll agree, it's quirky, it's quick, it's visual, and it can be done with any borrowed pen. This is called rebate. This is taught on there as well, of course, and literally you need one thing that most magicians have, and a borrowed pen. So with that in your pocket, you're good to go in most situations. And I know a lot of magicians that already carry one anyway, I do. So I'm always set to do this routine if I want to. It's just a weird, it's a weird thing to watch, right? You take a pen, you shake it, that's the first thing. And what he's giving you here as well, actually, in the method, it's like an impromptu rattle box. So I don't know if you ever used to do the one with the 3 match boxes and you would shake it, and obviously if you know the trick, you know what this means. You could do it sleeves rolled up with this method, and I think taking the method here, you'll be able to apply it to a lot of other things and have a lot of fun with it. But that aside, rebate in itself, there's a lot of visual magic just happening with one pen. You know, the coins, they hear the noise, the coins appear, the coins then go back inside the lid, and you hand the pen back. Just a weird, quirky bit of magic which you can do in a moment's notice. So that is a trick called rebate. So before I show you the third trick, I want to read out some of your comments. It means a lot to us that you guys take the time to comment on our videos. So last week I asked you, how do you approach the table? You know, when you walk into a room, what's your approach? So there's been some good responses. I'm going to read out a couple here. So Tom Rolfe says, when I'm approaching a group, I like to smile while making eye contact with one of the people. If I get the return smile back, I feel invited to join them, and I use that same person to introduce myself and start communicating then to the rest of the group. That's a great point. You know, eye contact in magic is one of the most important things. It's how you connect with somebody, and I think that's a great tip, Tom, so thank you very much for that. I'm going to look down here again, and lots of really nice friendly comments, people saying that you're enjoying the show. Chico Da Costa says he is, so thank you so much for that. Steve Knight, so I will just abbreviate. Go and take a look at these comments as well. There's some great comments underneath the video, so I will just abbreviate these comments, but pretty much he says, I first spend time looking at the folks in the room, feel the groove and the energy, and I go for the biggest, loudest table, which was a bit of what I was talking about. Then the first words that come out of my mouth are hi folks. Right? From there, it changes based on their reaction. It's moment in time that changes from group to group. Sadly, there's no one perfect line to use, as every situation is different. The more gigs you do, the better you get at introducing yourself. And it's true, you know, you can't put a price on experience and time and getting out there and doing it. So, brilliant. Thank you very much, Steve Knight, for that. And let me just find one more. I'll go to the table that is not having fun. Right, so this was interesting, because last week I was talking about finding a table where the energy's at and going and building from that, and then the rest of the room will see that. But this is a really good point as well. I'm not a performer, so no advice from me, but he does give good advice. I do think that approaching the table that is having fun already can be a buzzkill. Good point. I would go to that table that is not having fun. I've been to many weddings where I was sitting with strangers and an interruption of any kind would have been welcome. So yeah, that's a great point as well. You know, a lot of people at weddings don't know each other when they're on the table, so they do need that person to go and break it up. And we always say that, you know, as a selling point at weddings, you know, lots of family may not have met, so this is a real nice way to break the ice and get people meeting. So that's a really good point. You know, if you're going to go to a loud table and they're already loud, then people might look at that going, oh, what's going on there now, rather than, oh, what's going on over there. That's a really good point, so thank you for that. So really great comments, and I'm going to leave you a question for next week as well. Now, Magic Farm is DVD that I always refer back to. It's that thing where I just go back to it, I have a look, sit through it, I relearn the things I already know, and then I learn more from it. So what is your go-to Magic DVD? What is the DVD that you always find yourself running back to watch for whatever reason? And if so, what is the trick that you always end up wanting to learn again? So for me, it's Magic Farm. I think it always will be, it'll always live in my collection. So I want to know under the comments of this video, and I'll read them out next week. So leave a comment, what is the Magic DVD you always find yourself going back to and why? So I know you want to see another trick, so let's take a look at a performance of sympathetic coins. Okay, so this is an awesome little trick. It uses a napkin, 4 coins and a card. So here's the idea. I'm going to cover one of these coins with the card just here on the table. Watch coin number 2. Okay, I'm going to take it underneath the napkin and melt it through to join the other card like this. I'll show you this again. Watch. I'm going to cover the coin. Coin number 2 will go underneath, and that will join as well. So that's 2 coins that have melted through. The last one, if you were here, I would get you to place your hand on top of these, and you would. I would take the last coin like this underneath the napkin, and I could melt it through. You'll see it go through, actually through and into your finger, just like that, leaving 4 coins and 1 card. So talking about revisiting a DVD and then learning something new when you're there, this is that for me. When I revisited this for this project, I was blown away by this effect. I just think it's so straightforward. Like, you don't need to be a technical wizard with coins to be able to do this, and it's ultra visual, right? All you need is a napkin and some coins and a card. But that last phase where you see the coin go through the fingers of my hand, that's a borrowed hand. It's really hard to do it in quarantine, but that is their hand, right? So the last 3 coins are there, you push the coins over with the card, their hand goes on top, and then the last coin kind of melts through the fingers of their hand, and they're left there and they can examine everything. Sympathetic coins, I really think you're going to add this to your repertoire. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. So I just wanted to leave you with my opinion on Magic DVDs. Now, we're moving forward in time, and streaming videos are the thing of the future and the present, and that's absolutely fine, and I love streaming videos, but I've spent a lot of money collecting Magic DVDs and learning from them over the years. So for me to just throw them away or forget about them or sell them, which we see a lot of them being sold second hand now, that would break a little bit of my heart. And that sounds a bit silly, but there's so many memories on different DVDs, and I remember when I kind of, in my teens and then moving up, when I learnt from certain DVDs. So what I did, when I last moved, I moved from my old house to this house, and we had to get rid of a load of stuff. So I had a huge DVD collection, and the cases were just taking up room everywhere. So I decided to grab one of these. This is just basically a DVD case, and you can see in here, these are all my DVDs. I just got rid of the boxes. So this is a really great way to keep the DVDs from the past and keep them with you moving into the future, because yeah, all right, we learn from streaming videos now, but ultimately the information here is no worse. Like, in fact, some of it's better than the stuff that's coming out today. So why would I want to get rid of all of that information just because we're moving forward into streaming? So that is what Magic Farm looks like now for me. When you receive it, it will be in a DVD case, but obviously that's how I now keep all of my DVDs, because I'm going to still learn from these even when I'm 50, 60 years old. As long as there's a USB port on the devices, I will be able to connect this. So this is now how I watch my DVDs. It really is not difficult to get hold of one of these or a portable DVD player. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to watch DVDs. And I get that, because how easy streaming videos are. And you know, we have a streaming format, it's very successful, and I love watching streaming videos. But again, just for something like a portable DVD player means I can watch all of those DVDs that have been sat there for months and learn the material that is still great. So there you have it, that is Magic Farm. We had a few of these available on our site, alakazam.co.uk, so head over there now, type in Magic Farm. It's by David Williamson and it is one of my favourite projects today. So I hope you enjoyed the performances, I hope you enjoyed listening to my views and my opinions, and I can't wait to read out some of the comments next week that you're going to leave underneath this video. While you're down there hitting that subscribe button, thank you so much, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks on the Loosley Does It.